part of the Senior Expo for a good many years now has been our recognition of veterans and what veterans do in community service. We partner on this with Los Angeles County Supervisor Catherine Barger of the 5th District, and she has always supported and endorsed this initiative, supporting veterans as the county does.
It is my privilege to recognize wonderful community volunteers at this year's Senior Expo awardees. Thank you to the High Desert Medical Group and founder Dr. Richard Merkin for hosting this special annual event and for your commitment to our community.
Each year we try to find a group. Usually there's one individual at the head of the group that supports veterans in the community, and that is our Veteran Community Service Award. This year, we're pleased to introduce, and Maria Capellian, our Miss Antelope Valley, will escort our honoree to the stage. We are pleased to announce that the Veterans Community Service Awardee is the Veterans Outreach
2020 Veterans Community Service Awardee recipient Steve Baker, who is best known for his 30 years as Executive Director of Grace Resource Center. This inspiring community organization provides groceries, training, hope, and help for tens of thousands of Antelope Valley residents. Steve himself is a veteran who served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War, stationed at Miramar Naval Air Station near San Diego. He was an aviation machinist mate overhauling engines for F-4 Phantom fight bombers. We are so grateful for his selfless service to our country and to the Antelope Valley.
I also want to congratulate Steve Baker of Veterans Outreach, honored with our High Desert Medical Group's Veterans Community Service Award. In 2003, he started the Veterans Outreach, a targeted response to helping hundreds upon hundreds of homeless and at-risk veterans. Over the years, Steve has made sure to provide services ranging from housing referrals, healthcare and dental, to hot meals and haircuts, mental health services, and clothing donations. Hundreds of veterans have been served annually, thousands over the years, to help combat homelessness.
Congratulate the recipients of the Veterans Community Service Award. What a great honor it is to have you as part of our community, and very deserved congratulations.
What is the Veterans Outreach and how did it get started, Steve?
Well, the Veterans Outreach is an event that is put on in cities across the country to benefit the less disadvantaged veterans.
Okay.
I was working with the homeless in San Diego in the early 80s, and the first ever homeless Veterans Outreach in San Diego was in '84.
Okay.
And they did it at San Diego High School in the baseball field because they had 20-foot fences and they couldn't escape once we got them in there. And so I got to be a part of setting up the barbers and do, just minimal stuff. But I was working with the Episcopal Community Services of the homeless program at the time and learned a bunch.
And how did we come to get a Veterans Outreach event here in the Antelope Valley?
Well, I came home in 1989 and worked at Edwards for 2 years as a jet mechanic. And then a group of pastors asked me to start Grace Resource Center, and we did that in end of 90. And that was 30 years ago.
Okay.
So the reality is we had George Palermo and Mike Bertel and a few other guys started a Point Man outreach at Grace Resources on Tuesday nights. We were in Yucca then. And
so these were Vietnam War veterans who were experiencing PTSD.
Exactly, and actually they were more leaders who wanted to get something started to reach out to the other veterans who were struggling. We had some guys that were in pretty bad shape.
Sure.
But it was open to anybody. We actually had a lady who was a postal worker who got attacked by a dog and couldn't get over her PTSD, and just some different situations, but everyone was welcome. And so for the first 6 months, sometimes it was me and George and Mike, and sometimes there'd be 3 or 4 people, and then one time we had a dozen. We thought, Eureka, we're there.
Right.
And so over the course of time, they moved it across the way to the new Mental Health America building. and now they're meeting at the college.
Now, the Veterans Outreach event started as the Veterans Stand Down,
Mhm.
and I think that was in just about the year that the United States went to war in Iraq.
Yeah, I believe so. October 3rd, 2003 was our first event. And,
Okay.
having worked with the one in San Diego, which was a 3-day event, that's what we patterned it after. And so we got the use of the football practice field at the college.
Yes.
And Lancaster Rotary, which meets on Thursday nights, is I think the oldest club in the valley, out of 6. They offered to do the food for the weekend.
Okay.
And we brought up a group of guys from Beacon House down in the coast somewhere, way down by Long Beach. And they came in, they were our security.
Okay.
So there was a lot of planning, because once you sleep someone overnight, it's triples or
Sure.
quadruples the accountability. So we had our event. I think we had 75 veterans and about 100 volunteers, and Rotary fed them all. Pete Knight was our honorary chairman at the time and gave out medals to everybody, and it was really a cool time. But I almost immediately realized that the 3-day thing was not.
Right.
We could do 3 one-day things and have more input in our veterans.
And I would say that you did develop it into something that, with its quarterly Veterans Outreach, usually on the campus over at Grace Chapel,
Mhm.
but that you were able to provide all kinds of services, VA, mental health, High Desert Medical Group is always glad to participate,
Mhm.
but you have a lot of services for veterans, and in each one of those events, you usually take care of about 100 in a day.
About 190, I think, was the last one we had.
So,
And there was 26 different community groups that came in to give away free socks and underwear and, toothbrushes and sleeping bags, and it just has really grown.
I remember one Veterans Outreach, where there was a gentleman who came in a bad way,
Mhm.
and in fact, he was gonna pass.
Mhm.
We were gonna lose him,
Right.
but he got taken care of by paramedics and into the ambulance, but veterans were with him, and that veteran did not leave this life alone.
Exactly.
So he came to exactly the place
Yeah.
he needed to be.
Exactly. And in another case, we had a guy who was very sick. They took him off in an ambulance. The next week, he showed up at my office, and we were able to get him into one of the, right behind Mental Health America, into an apartment and get him squared away. And he, I think he's still hanging out. I don't spend a lot of time at Grace anymore because I'm semi-retired, but he was really a bright spot for us.
So what we see is that with the Veterans Outreach as the community service component of our award,
Mm.
is that real results happen for real
Mhm.
people, and that's why High Desert Medical Group, Steve, is very proud to support you, and we have a little bit of award and recognition for you
Cool.
from High Desert Medical Group, but also from some other people. I think the way I've heard it before is that when you get the wooden one from the city of Lancaster,
Ooh.
you're on the A list,
Oh,
so,
that's cool.
so there you are,
Thank you.
right?
Oh, I'll send in a thank you. Oh, that's very cool.
This is our very specific High Desert Community Service Award
Mhm.
to Steve Baker. And I know when we say Steve, we're also talking about the committee.
Exactly.
We're talking about all the people who support you in getting it done.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that pull it together. So.
And they're a splendid
Cool.
group.
Well, thank you very much. That's incredible.
And we also have, oh my gosh, you know how these things go,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you? But
That's fun.
it's meaningful because the people who present them mean it. So from the city of Palmdale, we have congratulations and thanks.
Cool. Thank you.
And from the State Senator Scott Wilk, who we know not only supports your work,
Mhm.
but he's also a supporter of veterans.
Oh, absolutely. I know that's cool. I appreciate Scott a lot. He's done a lot for us.
And we also have, oh, here is that fine scroll from the city of Lancaster with
Nice.
Mayor Rex Parris's signature affixed to it.
Cool.
And what it means is you put in the work, and the volunteers have put in the work,
Thank you.
and people live better because of it.
I think we've made a dent, and I hope that once we get able to see each other again in public, we
Yep.
can continue the process. And Pastor Chris at Grace Chapel, who has been incredibly generous to us, said the minute they get the green light, we can make plans.
Well, that's it, because this is community, it is community engagement,
Right.
and High Desert Medical Group is just very proud to be in partnership with you,
Thank you.
but we are also very respectful of your taking the initiative and leading the way.
Thank you. Well, I couldn't do it without the committee, but also my sweet wife Alice. She's very supportive of all of this, and her dad was a career Air Force man and spent some time in the Navy. And I don't know what went wrong, but he joined the Air Force after that. But you know, it's an amazing place to be a part of, and to see. I still have a few guys that I call every week and check on them. One of them's living in Kensington, and you know, that's incredible to me that we can keep those relationships going.
Well, this is November, it is Veterans Month, at our Senior Expo on November 19th. We're just about a week past Veterans Day, but I know that people like Pete Knight, who flew those 253 missions over Vietnam, he would just say, I think every day is Veterans Day,
Exactly.
and we want to thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Well, one last thing, I'm really tickled we were able to do an outreach in February.
Yep.
Because 3 weeks later we closed down. So
Right.
that's the only thing we've done this year, but I'm really ready to do another one and get things going. But when we get into the veterans time of the year, it's kind of hard because of scheduling. But
Right.
I'm hoping that either in December or early next year we can get our next outreach and make it a little extra special, make up some lost time.